what's up, guys? My name is Ghost, and I'm going to be bringing out a series of videos leading up to our webinar that I'm hosting Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern. So again, that's this Wednesday, 6:30 Eastern. I'll be hosting a webinar, and I'm going to be bringing out videos of each of the topics we're going to be covering during that time. So for instance, this video, I'm going to be going over how to find levels of support and resistance, which time frames do I use, and how I use my color scheme, my red and green colors on my charts. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in this video, I'm going to be going over how I identified the support and resistance levels by using the same principles I used to use for my supply and demand zones. It's basically the same principles, but I just have it more refined and much more precise at a key level, and what I use to identify a real supply and a real demand, and how I use also those color schemes of the green for a strong support and red for a strong resistance. So let's get into it. I'm going to be picking a random time period just so I can walk you guys through it and see how price action reacted to those levels and give you guys a good grasp of how to identify and how they reacted. So for this example, I'm going to be going over using the daily and the hourly time frame. I am a day trader. If I was a swing trader, I would push this back to a week or even a month. But for this example, we're going to stick to those two time frames, and I'm going to be using the ES continuous contract for these examples. So first, let's find a swing high area. Before, I would usually consider this as the swing high area, but now I've been able to identify and have a much more consistent reaction at the next level I'm going to be pointing out to you, which will probably be right here, is where I would consider a real swing high area, where if we do come back, that is a level I would want to watch. And I am going to put it as green because below it, I do consider this still a weak resistance. Above it, it is a strong support. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that. And then here for the swing low area, we'll go right here. This does meet my criteria for a swing low just because the candle did finish as a green candle. And I'm going to mark that as a red because it is a weak support, but it is a strong resistance once price gets below. So let's go through this and see how the price reacted. As you can see, we came, bounced here, then we finally got the flush move down, came back. Once we got that retest, so now this is a break and a retest. This is a strong resistance. Now that price is below it, as you can see, we finished that move. Now let's see the second time. I never like to take the same trade. So here would be the first trade. The second trade, I would not wait to take another put position there. I will wait for the break, and I would probably enter some calls, scalp it, and as long as price can hold above it, I would be staying in my position. But the next trade will be if we come back up to this level here. So as you can see, we kind of just danced around this weak support now that we've reclaimed it. So here, the first test of this support, of this resistance, excuse me, you can see we got that reaction, just like kind of how we got this first reaction here. But eventually we're going to break above because it is a weak resistance. But the move will be if once we get above and get a close above. So here you can see we broke above, but we closed on the daily. The hourly would probably show us a better picture. We could have gotten a good scalp and then see the fail. But the second time we closed back above, you can see how price reacted and we got that next move up. To find how this next move here, so once you have this swing high and this swing low, and if you're trying to have price targets, so you just move back. So here is another swing. So this would be another swing high area. So here is not much of a big move, but here you would definitely want to get a trim in. And then if you look for a swing low area, none of this meets my criteria for a swing low. None of this meets my criteria for a swing low. This one does meet my criteria for a swing high. So here's another one. And then continue. We just have swing highs here. Oh, we do got finally a swing low area, but we're not gonna get. So here is another. So this is not a swing high, but this is a swing low. So you could hold for that move all the way down there, but ideally, if you're gonna get this break, if you get this break here, up at 42.30, 38.24 is such a big move on ES, so you're probably going to be down to just free runners at that point. But here would be a hard trim. At least 1 or 2 price targets is all I aim for. So here, and it's dependent on the ticker. So here, as you can see, here was our base area where we found levels. So we're like coming into February, say February 16, and now you're anticipating this to break and you want price targets below. Your first safe trim will be right at this area right here. The second one will be right here at this swing high. And then the third one will be at this swing high. Just because you know these are areas of support that we could bounce any moment between these 3 levels. So here, as you can see, we got that break. You got that first move. So you could trim here. You got that first move. They held the price there. We got the retest. And you can see they finished the move there. And they held that down there. And then, of course, you know, if you get back to the same area, we're most likely going to break above. And then if you're looking for price targets above, once we come back to this area, same principles. I look for any levels. So the first one would be a swing high area right here. Swing high area here. So let's see how price reacted once we came back and broke above. So as you can see here, we finally got that move, and you can see that's where we stalled out. So that you already would have got a trim. And as you can see, the second time we broke, that's where you would get your second trim. And as you can see, I was trying to look for another level, but couldn't find a level that met my criteria. For a safer trim, I probably would do this candle high here, just because we wick down. It's a small trend reversal, but it'd be giving you opportunities to get another trim and have a price target. And let's see if price reacted there. So as you can see, that was where it kind of stalled out. But again, the reason why I do consider a level as a swing high, I need to see sellers initiate the move down. So if I see this where buyers are present at the highs, I don't consider that as the swing high area. I do believe that area could get tested and broken eventually. So an area where I do see they established a footing and sellers did push the price down, that's where I consider high, and vice versa for buyers at the lows for a swing low area. I want to see them initiate the move up. As you can see, here was an area where they initiated the move up. Again, here they initiated the move up. So those are real levels that I would pay attention to and would wait for price action to identify which side of that trade I'm going to be taking. But those are levels that I do see the most reactions at, and that I've kind of adapted from going away from zones and identifying those key levels where I see buyers present or sellers present. So now that you guys have seen how I identify these levels of support and resistances and how I use my color scheme, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do it on the hourly. My next video I'm going to be bringing out tomorrow will show you where I put my invalidations and validations using these hourly and daily levels, and where I would put my stops. So right now, just showing you on the hourly, quickly going to give you guys the same process that I use. So here you can see how I see sellers have initiated this area. That area will definitely be the area where I consider a swing high. And then just for me to identify the difference between the daily and hourly, I do mark it out with a dashed line, my hourly levels. Here I don't consider this as a swing high. This I do consider this as a swing low. So here we can go back and look. I will mark this as a strong resistance. So as you guys can see, we got that breakdown, came back. If I was looking for price targets, same thing I would do. First look to see if I could see any swing high areas where they might bounce us. So that would be the first area. And then as you can see, we got a few of those areas here. And then the next thing I would look for is another swing high or a swing low. So here is where buyers are present and they push price up. So that I do consider as a swing low. And then here as well, there's a area where sellers were present. So these are the areas where I do see where we chop or we just stall out for a bit, but we get the nice move here. As you can see, let's see how we came back down. We finally broke both of these levels, so you would definitely been riding this move all the way down. And then here's the next swing low area where buyers were present. As you can see here, buyers weren't present. None of these areas buyers were present. So then you can see here, this would be an area where I would look to see if price would hold. Breaking below there where I would initiate the next move down. And then vice versa. Now that we got the swing high area, if I wanted to find, well, this is all-time high, so we never really had any swing high areas previously. But definitely above there would have been a good move to capture at least a scalp up. And then vice versa, you can see how when we broke, came back, retested the swing low, we got that rejection. So we got the break, came back, retest. The second time we came back, we broke above, and then we got our price target up here. As you can see how I had nothing really as a swing high. You could have definitely probably marked this small area here as a swing high. And you can see how price reacted there once we broke above it and came back. So you could have got a trim off of this level. You see how price gravitated right towards there. We kind of held it, moved up to the second PT. And then coming back, you can see how price held it again and we got the next move. A few times it held. So obviously this third time, we're definitely going to have a higher probability of breaking it. But just the same process I used on the daily is how I used on the hourly. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys have any questions, just have it written down for me. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.